Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Panic a Chat with Oliver Graves. I am Oliver Graves. Recording live from the California Theater in Santa Rosa, California. Thank you very much to the California for having us. Well, what a time it is. It's hard for me to pivot around what's going on, but at the same time, I've never really been a very political comedian. I have always wanted to do a talk show, and things are going on lately. I like things to be evergreen, but like I can't. It doesn't exist in a vacuum. Like things are happening with Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel. I'm like, wow, okay, the goals of a comedian are being struck down. So I was like, all right. So it's difficult to ignore all this stuff. Getting very political. I don't like being political in my act because I like to have jokes that last throughout time. I love coming up with matter-of-fact things rather than something that's just topical. But politics are just always, it's a blame game. It's one side blames one person, another side blames another person. I'm like, oh my God, can we stop? Can we stop just blaming and start thinking like there's children, are we gonna think of them and maybe how this is their fault? Start blaming them, and I think too we can agree and still be enemies. That's important to me, that we can come together and be like, hey, you know what, all right. And I see people complaining about the price of groceries, like, oh my God, the price of groceries is going up. I don't see anyone complaining about the price of Magnum condoms going up. I've noticed. No one else seems to have noticed the price of that is going up. I think also it'd be great if we had abortion legal everywhere, because then incest could be legal everywhere. Just a thought there. Yeah. But if you're feeling down, just with all of the conspiracy theorists that are out there, just know someone has to believe in you. Yeah, okay. Well, with that, I have my first guest of this show. Let's introduce, we have Velvet Thorn. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. And I suppose you should talk about what you do. You do burlesque.
Yeah.
And I don't know who I have listening. I don't know if they're able to look things up on the internet to know what burlesque actually is. But perhaps you should explain what burlesque is and the differences of it from other types of performing.
Great. I'm Velvet Thorn. I do burlesque, and I went into this gallery the other day and was talking about what I do, and the gallery owner was like, "Oh, exactly what is burlesque? Is it like can?" And I was like, "No." And then I asked him, "Oh, do you know Gypsy Rosalie?" And he was like, "Oh, you're a stripper." I was like, yeah, I am. Absolutely. I strip my clothes off in a theatrical performance space. And that's what burlesque is. It is actually, if we're talking about politics, it is very political, because in a lot of places, it's not okay for people to take their clothes off.
Right.
Take their clothes off in public, but especially women. And about 10 years ago, and more, we had the Free the Nipple movement, and some discourse about, hey, like if men also have nipples and they're biologically the same, like why can't we show them either? So anyways, so there's kind of like this whole discourse about bodies and who's allowed to
These antiquated laws that,
Yeah, and I just think about a couple years ago what was going on in Iran, and I think of what I'm doing as fun and cheeky, and I play with the audience, and they have a good time and I have a good time, and we have this agreement that you're going to watch me take my clothes off and you're going to cheer for me.
That's the idea.
Exactly. But I have to kind of remind myself, hey, in a lot of places this actually is not okay, and I could die for, for what I'm doing. So, so I think in that regard, it's really important. And I also want to say about burlesque is that it's also something that I'm doing for myself. I don't make a lot of money doing this. I put together my costume. I'm an independent artist. I come up with all of my acts and creative ideas, and I have a seamstress who makes my costumes now, and so there's a lot of thought that I'm putting into this, and I'm choreographing, I'm booking, I'm my own manager, I book myself, I handle my own social media.
Wearing a lot of hats when you're doing this. A lot of artists have to find other avenues and things, yeah.
Absolutely. So I would say that it's a very independent artist kind of craft.
So burlesque, just in case there's people that are listening, that don't know the difference, I just hear that stripping, burlesque, dancing, is there a definable difference, or is it more of an artistic difference that you don't really need to define the difference?
Yeah, so I feel that I'm not the best person to talk to because I've actually never been to a strip club.
So for you, you're not relevant.
Yeah.
No, that's actually interesting to hear that I've been to, I think, I've been to a strip club once in San Francisco and once in Reno, and that's my only experience with strip clubs, those 2 times. And I mean, for me, I wouldn't necessarily say there's that much of a difference, other than there's more of an art to burlesque. I don't want to be strippers aren't artistic, but there is a lot more of a theming and an artistry to burlesque. They are very similar, and I'm sure there's a lot of overlap. But as we'll probably get into later when we talk about some of the other things you do, where it isn't just typical pop music and lights and sounds. There is another element and layer to what you're doing.
Yeah, so I should correct myself and say, actually, I have been to a strip club. I went to the Condor Club to see a burlesque show. And so, but I wasn't a regular night. The audience was not maybe the regular customers or things like that. But there were burlesque dancers, and then there were the employees of the strip club performing as well.
Oh, okay.
And so you could definitely, for me as an audience member, very familiar with burlesque because I've been doing it. I see a performer like Frankie Fictitious, and she is, has a bedazzled to the nines costume, and a lot of gusto and stage presence. And I could definitely tell that the other dancers who worked at the club, the strippers, were having a lot of fun, but they weren't quite in the same stage presence. This is my identity as a burlesque dancer, that sort of thing.
Right, because you're bringing a lot of character and performance energy when you're doing burlesque. I mean, I don't mean you, but performers in general, it tends to be more of there's a thought, there's a framing to how you want to appear that night, or how you just are as a performer. Whereas I guess at stripping, it is more, this is what there is. It has to be a little more generic for the audience.
From my limited view, it seems like it is performance and service, and it blends. And there absolutely is artistry. I could never do what some of those gals or
Sure, it's a style of dance.
Yeah, the pole dancing, they're amazing. They're totally, I would say, in their own realm that that is an art form. But if you're going to a strip club and you're going to a night to go see burlesque, you're probably going to be a different kind of audience member as well, and looking for different things, I imagine. So.
That's the thing. I've seen it very, very rarely, because I've been on a lot of variety shows and been on many burlesque shows, where sometimes someone doesn't quite get it. Will be someone in the audience. It's like, what is, how come there's not more, sexual or more, however you want to, dirty things happening? It's like, well, because this is a burlesque show and they're deciding how they want their performance. There's a lot more, I guess, independence.
Yeah.
And you get to select what you're doing in your piece. Like, no one screens your pieces, right? Like, no one's saying, like, okay, send me exactly what you're going to do that night, right?
Yeah, no. Well, you do send in your act sometimes when you book. And people want to know, maybe, see some videos of you. Now we have social media, so it's a lot easier for producers to check you out. But, yeah, it's always a little bit of a risk.
Right.
Because
you could go a different direction than what you did
exactly.
in a video. And, yeah.
This is live entertainment, folks. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there is. I think that there is a lot at burlesque shows. There needs to be a lot of support, I think, and audience participation.
It's a live show.
Exactly.
Treat it like a live show. Be present.
The energy can just feel like totally wild, and I think that sometimes it can be hard for certain audience members to feel like they're a part of this whole, and they kind of just want it to be like maybe about them. Like it's not just about you personally enjoying it. I mean, it is like you need to look at it with your own eyes and see what's going on, but like it's also exciting being a part of this whole, and that the dancer on stage is not for you. It's for everybody.
It's for this experience that's being created.
Yeah.
It takes not only the performer, but it also takes the audience participating. Because otherwise, it would just be a video at home. Like,
Yeah.
To silence, no applause, no.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I have had a few people on my Instagram who are hitting me up like, can you send me pictures of you? And I'm like, well, that's just. For a minute I was considering it, but then I was like, well, I don't really need the money. But I was like, I don't need the money, and that's not exactly what I'm doing. I said, you know what? If you enjoy me, you can just enjoy my public posts that I post, and that's what you're gonna get. You're only getting as much of me as I choose.
Yeah, you allocate, right. It's not their choice.
Yeah. And so that's when it feels really
you can send
exciting.
them my way. I could use the money.
Okay, I know.
If you want to. Hopefully they'll be, I've never done the feet pics, but I've been pulling it out.
I think that's the best way to go, honestly.
Step on stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway. Let's talk about your history with burlesque, because you weren't birthed into the world as a burlesque performer. How did this evolve? Did you start as a performer and then you started tapping into this? Like how, where were you? Were you acting? Were you dancing prior and then tried burlesque out?
I started in theater as the gateway
drug to taking your clothes off and stage.
Exactly. It's like attention, the applause, the theater, the stage. So, I did theater in high school, and then I was starting to feel a little more hey, I have this body, and I'm also a mover, and I'm not the most technical dancer. I did take dance classes in high school, so I'm not a ballerina or anything, but I did realize that there was this other part of me that liked to tell stories with my body and make beautiful shapes and create glamour and wear beautiful clothes and put on fun makeup. And so I first realized burlesque was a thing when I saw Dita Von Teese on YouTube in a martini glass. And
you're like, what is this about? And it's like, oh, there's a whole world going on here.
I thought, I want to do that. Also, Quentin Tarantino's, what's that movie with the car? Do you know that one?
That would be Death Proof?
Death Proof,
Death
yeah.
Proof with
Yeah,
Kurt Russell.
When that gal gives Kurt Russell the lap dance, I was like, that's cool. And you go back and look at that lap dance scene, it's just, the bar is full of other women just watching what's going on, and like,
right.
she's just taking her power and like really enjoying it, I love that.
That's not even in all the versions of that movie too. Like I think that when that was released theatrically, that was like the lost reel. Because it was a double feature with Robert Rodriguez's zombie movie. I can't remember the name of it.
Is it Machete?
No, but that was a fake trailer.
Oh,
that was in that. I think
it was
Planet Terror. Yeah. So they had shortened versions of those movies because they thought it would be a fun gimmick, but they're the full version. I think that was only in like the fuller version. So it's like funny when you're talking about people might be going, I didn't see that in Death. Like you're probably right. We're not gaslighting you. We're not Mandela affecting you.
Yeah.
It might not have been in the one that you watched.
Was one I watched.
It wasn't the one. Yeah.
And it's on. I think it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
So come on, I don't know.
Well, people are probably like, what are you talking about? Like that specific scene has probably been uploaded various places. So people are like, this is the thing you missed if you watch the shorter version of the movie. But that is an interesting movie because it does play a lot with like power play and stuff. Like Kurt Russell's character is like, he's like sober, he just likes to hang out, and he's doing this whole power play with like, he's gonna write down your chicken shit in his personal book because she's not gonna do the dance. And she's like, what if I did? And then she does it. She did it, and she's taking her power back in a lot of, because like who cares what he thinks, you know?
Yeah, she's having a good time.
Yeah.
And maybe they're gonna, she thinks they're gonna have a better time, and then she gets in the car, and then
Comes a worse time.
Yeah, it's a worse time.
Oh, there's so many notes. We're already like getting like halfway through where we need to be at. So let's talk about Star Trek and Star Wars. What do you think about? Do you have a preference over Star Trek and Star Wars? It's not an easy answer for you? 'Cause it's not an easy answer for me.
It is. I think it's Star Trek. Yeah, it's my fave. I watched Star Wars first, and then I met my husband, and he's a big Star Trek
fan.
Yeah, and he also loves Star Wars. So
they go hand in hand often,
yeah. I think this would be a hard. If you asked him, it would be a hard question. But for me, it's Star Trek, and we started with Next Gen, and it worked really well because I love Patrick Stewart because he's also a theater man.
He's a Shakespearean actor,
yes.
And that's where he came from.
And I love Shakespeare, and so having Patrick Stewart and then all these other characters, and I really fell in love with the characters. When Tasha dies, spoilers.
Spoilers, back in 1988 when she died.
I was like, oh, I was crying. I was like, no, I love her. So it was just like, it only took one season, then I was like, I need to watch everything.
The first season, which is like, it's a rough season. It's such a different show from season 1 to season 3. And in season 3, they kind of find themselves.
Yes. Definitely, and that's easier to see when we rewatched it. But yeah, I love Star Trek. They really were able to just play with so many themes about humanity and consciousness.
So it's a lot of moral plays, various episodes dealing with.
Yeah, but it was in a very smart way where it wasn't. It was detached. In a detached way where you could kind of like safely think about these things.
Because it's talking about somewhat topical issues without actually saying it and putting it on the notes. Like I know a lot of people talk about Data, and Data he's an android, he's not human, but I've talked to a lot of various people that are autistic or on the autism spectrum that identify with his emotional disconnect. It's like, but he's not even a human character. But I could see these stories where he's trying to explore it. He's trying to learn what humor and comedy is. So he goes into like a holodeck to like figure this out. Hangs out with Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah.
Not Whoopi Goldberg.
I love her. But I did enjoy a lot of the Shakespeare. Dana was having fun with Shakespeare too. And
Right.
I remember those like holodeck episodes and great show. And then we went to watch Deep Space Nine. Love Deep Space Nine. And then I just did that Star Trek. I did a Star Trek show on the 8th of this month, and I played a Vulcan, and that was very fun because Next Gen, there aren't really a lot
They're
of
pretty
Vulcans.
active. I'm actually a big fan of Vulcans, and they use them very sparingly in Next Gen.
Yeah, and I ended up watching the original Star Trek much later, so I didn't really get the Vulcan thing, because they're missing it. They're kind of missing it in Deep Space Nine as well.
Right, there's not, so there's Spock in the original, and then there's Tuvok in Voyager, but then Next Gen and DS9 really don't have Vulcan representation.
Yeah. So I was having a little fun at DNA Lounge in the city, and I'm sure you're a big fan of DNA because they do the goth.
They
night,
have the same night as Hubba Hubba. There is Death Guild. So I've gone to Death Guild just on its own, and then if I'm at a Hubba Hubba show, I will always stay for Death Guild for some amount of time. But yeah.
So I actually spent my 21st birthday at Death Guild because it was on a Monday, and I was like, well, I should just do Death Guild, I guess.
Of course,
and I had an AMF, adios motherfuckers.
The blue thing, yeah.
And
you can look like Godzilla later when it comes out.
And I blasted off. I did.
Oh, geez.
And then I remember fuzzily, our friend came out and like went up to my other friend and was like, someone broke into the car.
Oh.
And I was like, I was like, oh my god.
Good for them.
Someone broke into the car. So it was a funny night, but totally memorable.
You remember it?
Yeah, I do. It's fuzzy, but I definitely remember that.
You remember
part.
having fun.
I was having a lot of fun. And my birthday is actually on a Monday again this month, and I'm doing a Hubba takeover show with my production company.
Awesome.
Yeah, on December 22nd. So I'm like, if your birthday is on I'm just like, if your birthday is on a Monday, girl, you need to do it at DNA, because that's the place to do it on Mondays.
I love going to the city, but I also hate it at the same time. Like, if you go into the city and you go to any of those clubs like Friday, Saturday night, it's great. It's just so, which I've done. I've been at DNA Friday or Saturday, and my friend couldn't get her car out because there was so many Ubers and Lyfts picking people at like 1 a.m. and she was just stuck for a little while. I was like, this is insane. And then there's like hot dog vendors, bacon vendors, all these people. I was like, what is this? This is so different from when I was doing like something at the Eagle around the corner where they closed off the street. That was like a Sunday or something. I'm like, this city changes so quickly, you know. But Monday, it's not like your reverse commute. You can get into the city easily. You can get out of the city easily. Yeah. So I do enjoy it. Yeah, the DNA. I don't know if I want to segue into my DNA Lounge story. Someone should ask me sometime about it, because it's that would take too long. We have so many other things to talk about with you before we go off that tangent. But you have fun performing at DNA Lounge.
I love DNA Lounge.
Yeah.
Hubba Hubba Review is a special place in my heart, so I was very happy when I got the opportunity to.
I was so thrilled. I've done it a few times here and there. I love hosting it because it's very different from comedy. I remember I was hosting it once, and in burlesque, people throw dollar bills, people take their clothes off. I'm supposed to do time in between and like fill time. And one time I was like got off. She said like, oh, you need to tell like another joke or two. I was like, oh, I get to be up there longer? I get to just riff and I was like, oh my God, this is the best. Because when you're doing a comedy show, that's like, you're not supposed to do that. When a host is doing like a lot of time in between comics, it's like every comic's like, what are you doing? Just get me on stage. Will you just, Whereas at a show like Up, I'm like, oh yeah, let the kitten clear it up, and then the person waiting knows that's part of it, versus a comedian's like, why are you a third joke? Just get it on, okay. But speaking of your takeover, so you are a producer of shows, as well as a performer of shows. So do you want to get into Broadway Burlesque?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
So here we are for beautiful California. I am producing a show here on this stage on October 3rd and 4th. And it's mixing my two loves, theater, I'm like, what are my loves? Theater and burlesque.
Did you almost say your husband? Like, wait a minute, he's not part of it.
My husband, the show's just my husband, yeah.
It's him and Bruno. It's Broadway Burlesque, October 3rd and 4th at the California Theater. So 2 nights, and you're producing, but are you performing?
I am performing and I'm hosting.
Hosting and performing, you have a lot of duty.
Yeah.
I guess, like I said, a lot of hats. We wear a lot of hats. When we're doing this.
Yes, but I'm kind of getting this opportunity too to like sing some of the songs that I've always wanted to sing.
So you're singing. So you're.
Yeah, I'm singing.
This is another hat you're wearing. There's so much going on.
Burlesque, baby, and there's a huge theater community here in the North Bay. So, and a very talented theater community. So I'm hoping.
There's also a less talented theater community. We don't have to talk about that. I'm kidding. No, maybe I'm not kidding. But you can read the reviews. I got to get to, time flies by so quickly. I wanted to get to some podcasty type questions that I like to do on here. It's just kind of a favorite. Hopefully it doesn't stump you. Hopefully you don't panic. So I wanted to ask, what is your favorite dinosaur? Or extinct animal? You can go with any extinct animal. Are you panicking?
Yeah,
Are you panicking?
I am.
Oh, wow. Got you in the headlights here.
Oh.
The other ones are going to be even more fun.
What?
Favorite? It could be anything that's extinct.
Okay.
As well, if you want to go away from dinos.
I'm like, okay, this is funny, but I'm going back and I'm like,
Going
Land
back in
Before
time.
Time.
Land Before Time, yeah.
Who
Long
was my
necks.
favorite?
Ducky.
Oh yeah, I think maybe the long necks.
Long necks?
Yeah. I'm going with them.
Like an Apatosaurus, Brontosaurus, Brachiosaurus, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I'll pick that up later. For those at home that are listening, I didn't see I dropped my notes in there. So, favorite Pokemon, or we can just go with a monster. It doesn't have to be a Pokemon.
No, it's Pokemon.
It's you want it to be
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Do you want to know my team?
Well,
I have a
yes,
team.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, we have a whole team.
Okay.
Yes.
A 6. You're
Yes,
6.
six, yeah.
Okay. Togekiss.
Okay.
Oshawott. Oshawott's my favorite. Oshawott's the one that runs around with me out in the Pokeball. Gengar, Lapras, Vulpix, and oh no. Okay, that's only 5.
Well, that's good. Maybe
Yeah.
you have a rotation for the.
Yeah,
for the
maybe I have a
sexual.
rotation. Oh, I'm gonna be mad at myself later that I forgot. But anyways, that's my team.
Superpower. If you could have one superpower, what power would you want to have?
Oh, stop time.
Stop time.
Absolutely.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, would it be
Always.
like Out of This World where you put your fingers together and you stop time? No one remembers that show but me.
Oh yeah, I don't.
No one
I
remembers
remember
the show.
there was a
Except
really
before-
bad early 2000s like stop time movie.
No, this is
Did
even.
you know?
Oh, Time Stoppers. I think.
Yeah, or
Is French
something.
Stewart in that?
Yeah, and I was always like, as a kid, I was like, that would be a great power. So yeah, definitely stop time.
This is a much older. I think Burt Reynolds did a voice on it. He was like, it's a girl and her dad's an alien and she has powers. She puts her fingers together. It was before Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and it was kind of like that show walked so that Melissa Joan Hart could run.
I see.
Stopping time. Okay, well this is a similar kind of question, but if you could have if you had magic to control one element, what element would you want to control? Like fire, wind, water, and you could go.
Ooh.
You could get away from elements if you wanted to have like plant or necromancy or other powers.
Ooh.
I'm making you panic.
I know.
That was the point of,
yeah. I'm like thinking like, ooh.
This is getting fun.
Maybe plants.
Plants.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay.
Plants. Really nice.
Magical vines come out.
Exactly. Photosynthesis. Photosynthesize.
And this is because I'm spooky and kind of a villain. I like being villains. I like villains. But if you had a villain lair, like a secret lair or a base or a castle, whatever, wherever your villain hideout is, where would you want it to be? Like geographically, where would you want it? Would you want it like in a volcano, underwater, a floating island, on the moon? It could be kind of anywhere. The jungle.
And I had a base.
Somewhere where you're hanging as a villain with all your...
Yeah, Iceland.
Ooh, Iceland.
Yeah.
Okay.
That seems very villainous to me.
Yeah, that's the clash of ice, and they have a lot of volcanoes as well.
Yeah.
So very
Waterfalls.
Yeah.
It would be behind
a waterfall
in Iceland.
There you go. So now we know where to find you.
Yes.
Well, where should people look to find you if they wanted to find you? Is there a place, should they check out your Instagram?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Velvet Thorn Official. The official is important because I think I'm shadow banned, which means if you look me up, I don't pop up right away because I'm a stripper. But yes, Velvet Thorn Official, and then you can look me up on Facebook. I'm on there as Velvet Thorn, or my production company is Epino Productions. That's spelled EPINEUX. I can't spell. It means thorny in French. So that's a little tidbit.
And hopefully I have this somewhere in a description that's,
yes,
when this is posted,
absolutely.
So people can,
oh yes, I'm like, remember now.
Remember, yeah.
Like, quick, spell.
Like people are getting out, like, let me
like,
type that in.
Yes, descriptions, I love that, okay.
Well, thank you so much, but you're gonna hang for our next guest. Thank you, Velvet Thorn. And yeah, you can give a round of applause for that. Well, with that, let's introduce our next guest coming, joining the Panic the Chat. Let's give it up for Jason Nathan, ladies and gentlemen. Give a round of applause. To get my notes, I'm gonna need these notes. And Jason, Velvet, and you can say hello to each other. Hi. A mix that, this is what I was really hoping to have on here is people that would probably never really necessarily interact on a show together. Comedian, I'm like, oh, I can get infinite comedians on here, and infinite comedians hang. I'm like, well, that's not that exciting to me, Comedians always hang out with each other, but so. Jason, you've been doing comedy. You want to talk about your comedy journey a little bit?
Yeah, so I'm on my 6th month comedy.
6 months, yeah.
My first open mic was in March.
Back in March?
Yes.
Where was your first open mic?
Barrel Proof Lounge in Santa Rosa.
Okay.
So, yeah, I got scared of it after doing it the first time, not before. It was interesting.
So the first time you get up.
Yeah, the first time the first time I went on stage, I was surprised by how little anxiety I had, and there was like no edge, nothing. But then when I got off, I was like, oh, that's hard. So, because I gave myself the goal that I would do it 3 times, so that way, regardless of how it went, I could give it the 3 tries. So I was like, I have to do this 2 more times, because with anything, you don't know what to expect the first time you do something and how it's going to feel. So.
And you could be in front of a completely different audience. You could say things slightly different.
Yeah.
But then you did do it the 2 more times, right?
Yes, and I kept doing it because I found it to be a little addicting.
And then here we are.
Yes.
I ran into you at the open mic here at the California on Sunday.
Right.
And I needed a replacement. Not gonna shame people for having lives outside of being on podcasts, but I was like, hey, can you come and hang and talk about. So let's talk about the sort of. I haven't really been going to open mics as much in this area lately, so you're kind of my guide in to what's been going on. You've been doing them in Sonoma County.
Yeah, mostly Sonoma County and a few in San Francisco.
You're in San Francisco? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, San Francisco a few times. Mostly Sonoma County though. It's like you were saying about San Francisco and getting your car out. It's like I do like it. Do I love it enough to be attracted for it yet? I'm not sure.
Right.
I don't really know if I love anything enough to be attracted for it.
Right. So you've come to the open mic here. You've
Yes.
come to San Francisco open mics. Have you noticed the difference yet between doing Sonoma County mics and doing SF mics?
What I have noticed, San Francisco open mic seems to be a lot of comic audience.
Yeah.
Whereas here, actual audience.
Actual.
And I've done one showcase in San Francisco, and that was still like a mixed bag.
Of people that were performers.
Yes.
Yeah.
The main difference I found is like an open mic versus doing a show. It's like at a show, the audience goes to laugh. So it's, I don't want to say
they're going on purpose.
Right, they're going on purpose.
They're not just there. You know, I've been on bar shows where
they're more engaged.
People did not realize a comedy show was happening that night.
Yeah.
And then you have a table or so people are like, I didn't want this to be happening.
Yeah, they're more engaged.
But yeah, when they come for it, it is a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah.
People understand what they're walking into.
The energy feels better. It's more exciting. But an open mic is fun too.
So what's the process with you going to this? You know, going to open mics. Are you locking in on jokes, or are you trying new stuff nearly every time? Like, have you found there's something you're kind of like?
So I always try to do at least one new thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, my set this week, I did all new stuff, and I think only one got. Well, I got a few laughs, but only one felt right. But it's like I'm still working on like my tight, good 5-minute set.
Right.
You know, and I did do one of the features at the Iron Ox, so I've done 28 minutes.
You were on stage talking 28 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that felt fine.
That's quite a bit to do in 6 months.
Right.
Of performing.
I feel like I had a lot of this like manifesting inside me for a long time, and like I'm a very routine person, structured person, so all the thoughts I've had over time, I kind of just found a way to write them. You got it all out. You had to. Yeah, and now it's like the addicting part, like trying to practice it and get better at something, like figuring out the order. You know, this is funny if I say it this way. If I say that first, that's not funny anymore. Right. Stuff like that. That's something I've heard Jerry Seinfeld say of jokes. Where a joke can come off as mean-spirited if you say it wrong. Like I think his example is something about like no call is ever important. He was just trying to say like phone call. Oh, it's an important call. No call is important. But then he said he used to flip it around where he was like, you're not important. Right. But he didn't want to make the audience member feel like they're not important. Yeah. He wanted to make a phone call feel like it's not important. So that way it doesn't make them go, oh, well, I like to think I matter. Right. Even though it can kind of, I get the joke, I get how that's kind of funny, but if you flip it, then suddenly it works better for everyone in the audience. Right, yeah, I acknowledge that. Like, my example of that would be like when I talk about a person from the past, which I don't get specific about a person, but if I'm talking and making fun of them in a way, I make sure to do that to myself also, because I don't want it to be like I'm bashing somebody, which I'm not to begin with. But you could. No, yeah, I mean, I could. Everyone finds their own stuff. Yeah, and I would consider myself a clean comic. I don't curse or anything. And well, what do you define as clean? So I don't curse. I don't talk about anything too raunchy. Bathroom type stuff. I'd say like if I talk about sexual things, I do it in a very, I guess, juvenile manner. Do you talk about drug use at all? I talk about how I don't do drugs. Oh, I don't do drugs, yeah. Or so, because I've heard different people define clean differently. Right. Like swearing, like the F word, etc. Right. Like that, like that's not the obvious sexual stuff that's obvious. But I've heard people say that talking about drug use gets into being here, and there's other things that are a little too adjacent. Right. It's like it's like, oh, that's not clean enough. Yeah, and I don't like to talk about anything that could be controversial. So you don't talk about anything. Right. I'm good at that. Yeah, I don't talk about anything. You just don't. Yeah. I talk about fruit a lot, and I talk about like my friends a lot. I talk about how I don't want kids a lot.
Me too.
Like a lot. That's kind of what I would say. That yeah.
I would be perfect as your audience.
Yeah.
Because I would be like, yes, I agree with that.
You're like fruit and no kids. Huh?
Fruit and no kids. Actually, totally.
Yeah.
So I I do have a question for you. Do you feel like you're trying to like get along with everybody? Like you want like when you come in as a comedian and you don't know what your audience is going to be like, and I mean like this is for you too. It's like how do you like have this point where you're trying to feel everybody out, and then you're kind of like, okay, well I can like do these jokes and they'll like it, or like do you like kind of just like are like, this is who I am and they're gonna take it or leave it kind of thing? Like,
so I do practice my sets a lot, so I would like to be more in the moment on stage and get a feel for the audience more, but yeah, I don't really switch my act based on what I think the audience is gonna be. For example, I do a lot of things about like dating like older people. So in the event I see older folks in the audience, I will tend to shift to that because I have a lot of that stuff.
So you're also in the writing process of comedy? Because
Yeah.
the big thing with comedy is having like a bag of tricks. You want a lot of different things you can pull out.
Right.
But it's interesting because you're already sort of going to a certain place.
Right.
And then you don't want to pull out, the dirty stuff. Whereas some comedians would probably make the choice to see an audience, to hear what else is happening, and like, well, I'm going to be clean the whole night. I'm not going to get any of the dirty stuff out.
Right.
So, but you're defaulting to that's not even going to be an option. You're not going to go, well, I better be clean the whole night. I mean, that's just already where you are. I'm on a lot of different shows. If I'm doing a really short set, like on a variety show, I've probably already locked in what I'm doing. So I'm not going to change a 7-minute set. If I'm doing a longer set, like a really long set, I don't have that much different material. Like if I'm doing 45 minutes, I'm probably doing most, if not all of my jokes. It's when I'm doing like 20 minutes, it's like, well, that's the playtime for me, where then I do kind of have to feel an audience out and check things out. And it does vary. I will on stage in the moment, feel it out and talk with them, engage with them, and go different directions. I have absolutely dropped jokes mid-joke. Because I'm like, well, no one even will clap. And then I just kind of made a joke of it and moved on. And it's like, hopefully they forget about it. And anyone that wanted to hear me talk about, Pokemon or whatever, it was like, well, that's fine. Let me get into talking about earthquakes or cell phones or something else that people are aware of. Because I understand that like it is difficult when you start talking about things that people don't know about.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows about earthquakes and cell phones and all those other things. But when you have to start to explain, like if I was going to do jokes about burlesque, I'd have to probably explain a little bit about burlesque. Like why is this person dressed up as a Star Trek character and taking their clothes off?
Yeah.
Like what like, so that and you'd have to then gauge as a performer, is it worth it to explain all this to get to where you're going?
Right. And I feel like I tend to be locked in anyways, but I tend to layer my jokes throughout story. So that's why it's hard for me to just switch, like, I'm not going to do that joke. Because I need to start telling the story to get to where I have my jokes. If that makes sense?
Right. And well, as you get more time, that it changes so much.
Right.
Doing 5 minutes versus 15 versus 40.
Right. And I try to have everything like meshed together.
You want it to be kind of a
Topic-wise.
monologue. Topic-wise.
Okay. Yeah, topic-wise. Like I want to like tell a story that has to do with like kids or whatever, and then lead that into like that's why I get older people, like stuff like that.
I think that's a good way to keep getting jokes out of the same subject. I work with comedians and tell them, where do you write your jokes? I'm like, I will just sort of look at a subject that people are talking about and be like, there's got to be a joke in here. There's got to be something I can get at, but then I'll write one and then I'll move on because I'm more of a one-liner. Like I'm gonna just keep having multiple. But if you're doing it more your style, it's like you should just keep mining that subject.
Right.
Like where else can this go? And then you can figure out where like maybe you write a joke and you're putting it later, like, oh no, this can segue into this and this and this and
right. Yeah, so I mean I come up with a good amount of things from just that one concept, dating older people or that I don't want kids.
Those go together too.
Yeah, exactly. And then from the not wanting kids, I kind of like embraced and like started trying to make fun of how I am a little kid still, or an old man, and no in between. So that's kind of my
They're pretty similar. They really
yeah, exactly.
You learn
like you both They both like to have boats on their shirts sometimes. Both have Velcro shoes, right?
Sure.
Both eventually have diapers.
Sure.
Both like fruit cups.
I like fruit cups.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
We're going into fruit now.
Fruit.
Yeah, they have fruit on the shirt.
I do like fruit. I'm a fan of botany and fruit. So.
Cold fruit or room temperature fruit?
Oh, it varies.
Okay, I can't.
If a fruit cup's been in the fridge, that's fine. Room temperature can be
I
fine.
don't like anything room temperature, honestly.
No room temperature. I tend to prefer room temperature things like when it comes to like water. So I don't like things too cold.
That I can get on board with.
But like so for fruits, like so I'll sometimes get a banana and I won't finish it and then I put it in the fridge.
Yeah.
And I have to remind myself I'm gonna eat a cold banana.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to eating them room temperature, and then a cold banana is a different experience.
Yeah, exactly.
I
like the cold experience.
You like the cold banana experience.
Yeah. Or frozen.
Have you ever hung out in a morgue? I'm getting dirty. I'm gonna get dirty with.
Nope, not anymore.
Okay. So that's where my humor goes.
Okay.
The cold banana, right? Now I'm writing jokes up here. Like,
There you go.
Been doing that. So, let's talk about online improv.
Oh yeah.
What is this?
So during COVID, I was looking for something to do,
Sure.
and I typed in comedy. Nothing really spiked my interest, and then
You didn't like the Zoom comedy we have going on all over the world?
No, and I
Oh man.
and then I typed in improv, and I picked the one that was free. And I was
There
like,
you go.
Okay, right,
Nothing is
exactly.
free.
And yeah, it was like free every day. So I like tuned in every day, and then it became like routine. Like I said, I like routine, and it got fun, and there was some structure to it, so I could see that the people doing it were getting better, and I was getting a little better. So I was like, oh, this is interesting. This works. Which is improv is pretty much an in-person thing, but over Zoom, it was able to happen.
So you're performing it. You weren't just watching.
Yeah, it was classes, and then like shows, and the shows were pretty much for the people in the class.
So it's all dialogue then. You don't get to do.
Yeah, exactly. It was all
blocking
dialogue.
movement.
So yeah, and not body language.
But you can still do. There's a lot you
Yeah,
can do that
yeah.
is just not like questions only. Did you do questions only?
Yeah, we did a lot of that.
A lot of that. 'Cause
and
that's a
then-
dialogue
And then we
one.
did a lot of heralds
Heralds.
and like just
Heralds.
Yeah. Stuff
I'm
like
not. I've done some improv here and there, and I'm not like it's. I think so much of what an audience wants. Heralds are great for performers.
Mhm.
I'm sure you love the experience. But I was with an old group, and like I was not into doing like one person was very about long form. I was like, I'm really not.
Right.
I don't think as an audience, it's interesting to watch half-baked plays that are half-acted. Like there's so
Right.
much about it that I'm like, it's more an experience rather than it's a feature and a selling point. But on
Right.
Zoom, when you get to participate, like that's a very different thing.
What are heralds?
Ooh, I guess I didn't even think to. Well, just why don't you explain what a herald
Well,
is?
I mean, based on what I was doing, it's like little mini scenes that you try to like connect at the end. If that makes sense.
Like you might have six actors, and there'll be 3 scenes. Like you'll pair off 2, 2, and 2, and so there'll be 3 scenes that happen with those 3 pairs, and eventually they're gonna start.
So any Seinfeld episode is pretty much a herald to me.
Right.
There's 3 things going on, and then they all interconnect.
Because it'll be Kramer and Newman doing
Yes.
something,
Got it.
Jerry and his
Yes.
girlfriend doing
Yeah.
something,
Got it.
George and Elaine doing something,
Okay.
and then eventually.
Yeah, and I guess that's what I was trying to explain when I was saying how I do structure with the joke writing. Like I pretty much want to talk about 3 things that I can try to connect, or at least somewhat have to do with each other.
Right. Because it's if it can be done in 20 minutes, you can do it in a much shorter time, usually probably more easily.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is what a herald is.
Yeah, it's like it can be fun for acting and writing because when you can make it work, it's great. But I've just always felt like it feels like a workshop. It doesn't feel like it's refined. It doesn't.
Right.
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. because I want people to enjoy what they're watching, not to go, what, oh, okay, that was, oh, would it have been funnier if they did it? It's like, right, there's all this stuff you could do. But then if you take a Herald that did kind of well, you could get a sitcom episode out of it.
Right.
Well, let's get into, we talked about Shakespeare, and I wanted to ask about this because when I was doing research on you, this came up. A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Yeah, I was in 5th grade or 4th grade, and I was Oberon.
You were Oberon. Oh my God,
Oberon.
that is one of my favorite characters.
Yes, and I believe I didn't want to do the play, but an arrangement was made that I would get some Power Ranger toys if I did it.
Nice. Were they the ninjas or no?
No, it's the regular Ranger.
Regular.
You know the Red Ranger's name, right?
Right, of course, Jason.
Yes.
Until he was replaced by Rocky. Right. I know a lot about all these nerd things. Yeah.
Did you find info on the first time I ever was on stage?
No.
The first time I was ever on stage, I was 2 years old.
2 years old?
Yeah, and I had 101 fever. And my
was this like, see this poor child that's suffering? Like, was
no,
it
my mom entered me into the San Francisco annual baby pageant, which is a real thing. 1990. She put me in a little Speedo.
Is there a pending lawsuit regarding this?
She put me in a little Speedo and walked me down a little runway.
Part of a class action. And you're still here today.
I also won.
You won? You won. Okay. Well, you were the hottest baby up there.
I was the hottest baby.
Therapy.
One other thing, yeah, therapy. I actually recently found out that the Speedo is blue. And I tend to wear blue all the time. It's my color. So I don't know what's going on.
Oh, you didn't decide the time because you're 2 years old.
Yeah, I just got
It
it.
was forced upon you. But you were Oberon. That's really. I did very quickly, briefly in high school. We did a small version. That's the long play.
Yeah.
We did a section of it, and I was Puck, and that was a lot. I loved
Okay,
that.
Puck was good.
Yeah, I like the whole fairy world
Right.
of Midsummer Night's Dream. So Oberon's cool.
Yeah, I feel like my Puck was cooperative in the rehearsing process. Yeah.
Oh, I was such
That's
a
something.
trickster. I loved playing Puck. And going to Star Trek in the episode, because I'm such a nerd, in the episode when they meet Mark Twain, and they go back in time. Patrick Stewart's like, Picard is living up in this area, and there's this woman trying to get rent, and they're working on a play. It's like, play. You know, a play he claims to be working on? A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Ah.
Yeah, because it was at that time when the writers knew Patrick Stewart was Shakespeare, and they wanted to incorporate some more Shakespeare stuff. So he claimed to be working on a Shakespearean play. That's why all these people are hanging out up in his apartment. But yes.
So you do theater too, right?
I do.
So like burlesque versus theater, like which one would you say leaves the least room for like error? Puts the more pressure on you, if there is one.
Well, with burlesque, you need to fill the whole time just you. So
Okay.
it's kind of like this different thing. So if you're doing this routine, no one's going to know if you're messed up. But it also means you have to have the confidence
Right.
to do it. So I would say that theater requires a lot more rehearsal with everyone. It's
Right.
more of a collaborative. I mean, usually unless you're doing a one-person show.
Okay.
But yeah, I would say theater's more time intensive.
There can be some legal ramifications if you mess up in burlesque, though. Like if certain things come off, it changes.
Yes,
there's some city ordinances.
Yeah, my first show with Forbidden Kiss in November 2022. My top came off, and I realized that the whole routine was a long routine. It was 5 minutes. It was I was exposed, and I had no idea.
Right.
No clue. So
Because you're just in the.
yeah. So it was sometimes you're gosh, I'm really happy I didn't get arrested.
Right.
My grandma would have been.
It was burlesque.
For sure. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
burlesque.
See, that would be different if that happened at Midsummer Night's Dream.
Oh, definitely.
That'd be different.
You mean you'd be
you could hide behind the parody.
Well, isn't it
right?
Queen Titania? Like, we're already spelling it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I have, time just keeps running. I have the podcast, it's always easier when you get to hear them.
Ah, yeah.
You know, I should have put like you in an isolate, but I wanted you to listen. But like, I did podcasty type questions for you, Jason. Favorite dinosaur? Favorite dinosaur or extinct animal?
What dinosaur got Newman in Jurassic Park?
In Jurassic Park, there's the Dilophosaurus.
That one.
That one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dilophosaurus, all right.
Yeah.
The Michael Crichton version of a Dilophosaurus that has the frilled,
Okay.
because the fossil record, it would be an 8-foot tall, wouldn't have a frilled neck, wouldn't spit venom. You can pick the fictitious Michael Crichton version if that's what you want, though. That's the one you want?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we have favorite Pokemon, or we can, doesn't have to be a pocket monster, we can go with a regular monster.
Monster.
The monster can be vague too, because Dracula, Frankenstein, monsters as well. But Pokemon would be Pokemon kind of nerds.
Like, there's some Pokemon in Smash Brothers, right?
There are.
Pikachu
There's
then.
Pikachu, Mewtwo, Lucario, Ivysaur, Squirtle, Charizard. Let's okay.
And if I had,
It wasn't a trivia question.
all right.
But you're going with Pikachu?
Yeah, I go with Pikachu,
Okay.
unless I can pick Kirby from Smash Brothers, but he's not.
Kirby's somewhat of a monster, I suppose. It's yeah. I don't know what Kirby is. That's actually a good question. If you're like monster, fine, sure.
What is a Kirby?
What is
Yeah.
Kirby?
Yeah. How about a superpower? If you could have one superpower.
I would want to fly, but not in a grandiose way.
You want to show off?
No, it would mostly just be like as long as I can like hover fast to beat traffic and not have to park places. Like that, in that capacity.
Sure.
You know?
Okay.
That'd be amazing. I'd go to more shows.
Yeah.
I'd go to more openings.
Yeah.
You know?
Would you? I wonder. Would you fly over traffic? So you know
I
where
would
you
fly.
are?
I would fly over traffic and just.
Because you get
land
lost really easily if you.
and then land.
Because you're going to the ocean, and you're like, which direction? You know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how about if you could control an element? You have magic powers. You can control an element, like you're like
The
a
ocean.
wizard. Ocean?
Yeah.
Ooh, like water, like specifically ocean. Like if you get in front of a lake or a river, it's like, wait a minute, sorry.
Well, I would like to choose where it goes, because then any house could be a beach house,
Oh.
and then I would
okay.
get into real estate.
Sure. Was this like Lex Luthor, beachfront property?
Yeah, I just thought of it. It's a good idea.
Okay. And then if you had a villain lair or a secret hideout, where would you want it to be geographically? Could be anywhere. Could be underwater. Could be in the ocean if that's where you wanted it. Could be in traffic too if you wanted to just be the reason there's traffic.
If I was a villain,
Yeah.
like my disguise.
I mean, you're whatever you want. I mean,
I want-
probably a bad guy.
If I was a bad guy, I want to spend my non-bad guy time being a clerk at Trader Joe's. I feel like that would.
Would that be where you're hiding? Like you're working at Trader Joe's and then like
Yeah, and I have my.
but like is the break room like how
Yeah, that's where I
control
keep my.
things?
That's where I keep my bag.
Ooh, there we go. Yeah. Okay.
You know, get a snack, get the bag, guys stuff.
People go on their break, they come back, they get coffee, and there's just like plans
Yeah.
for nuclear weapons on the
You're
wall.
fueled by the bad customers.
Mhm.
You're
Yeah.
misbehaving. They're like, oh, I'm so angry.
Right, and then I'll hover out of the store and find.
This is your super villain story. So that's where you are when you're a bad guy. Where can people find you otherwise? Do you want people to find you otherwise? Do you have anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, I have Instagram, which I don't. So I want to start posting food challenge videos because I'm somewhat of a binge eater.
I see. Yeah.
But I haven't done that yet. But eventually I'll put it on my Instagram. And my Instagram is Jason Has Anxiety.
That's talking about yourself, not another Jason. And you mean
That's
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
At Jason Has Anxiety.
Not the Power Ranger Jason.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, we have as the live theater experience is going on. There's another show coming in, and we have to wrap up.
Oh,
But
I remembered my 6.
oh, you remember your 6 Pokemon? Oh, let's get this.
Yeah.
Let's not. We'll have to make time, everybody.
Okay.
This is really important. Yeah.
And I can't believe I forgot Vile Plume.
Vile Plume.
Vile Plume
Okay.
is my favorite.
I do like Vile Plume's pedal dance.
So that's, yep. We all, took me the whole time you're talking to think that. I was like,
About half an hour,
yeah.
yeah.
So I don't remember.
Well, thank you, Velvet Thorn. Thank you, Jason Nathan, for coming. This has been Panica Chat with Oliver Graves. Thank you to the California Theater. And goodbye, everybody.